Hello, today I want to give you like a very short video on cable cars. Again, we are in the series of the most common questions that we get by tourists, and it's very interesting because people usually ask, how do I get to the cable car? And the first part of the answer is, well, there is not one cable car but many of them. Right now we are in March 2020. For the time being, there are 5 cable cars in operation, and soon there will be the 6th line. So basically I would like to talk about the first lines that we have in operation, and each one offers a very different, or something different than the other, and each one is unique in its own way. The very first one, which is the line K, is the line that goes to, the name of the stop is Santo Domingo. It's actually one of my favorite cable cars, not to say the most favorite, because if you're interested in really getting to see a barrio, an authentic barrio, not surrounded by thousands and thousands of tourists like in other barrios, that's the place to go. It's safe, and very interesting is a cable car that shows you how important for the transformation of Medellin has been integrating the barrios into the city. We always in our tours say that the key of the transformation of Medellin was not putting the army on the streets or putting a police officer in every corner. The transformation of Medellin was about integrating, was about like social transformation, and the cable cars are very, very important for that. Line K was the first cable car, and it shows you how a barrio is connected to the city through the metro, through the cable car. And it's very interesting. Also, there is, once you get into Santo Domingo, you get off and there is like some sort of balcony where you have like a great view of the city. There are nice places for empanadas, for a beer, so that one is very good. Line K. Second option is line L, which is the extension of line K. Once you're in Santo Domingo, the one I just talked about, you have 2 alternatives. One is get off and walk through the barrio I just talked about, or you transfer to another station of another cable car that is line L, and that will, you have to pay there another extra, like 10,000 pesos extra per person, and then it's about 15 to 25 minutes ride. It's very interesting because it takes you all the way to the top of the mountain, and then you basically get out of the valley. It's like going into Jurassic Park. The cool thing about it is like it will drop you off at a natural park called Arví. There are hikes, there are places for picnics and stuff like that. So if you want to get out of the noise and the electricity of the city and you really look for some nature, that's a great alternative. That's line L. Our next, the next line is line J, and is the name of the last station is Aurora. That one, so the first one I talked about was about barrio, the second was about nature. This one would be more about a panoramic view because it goes up a mountain, it goes down behind a mountain, and it goes up again. It also offers great view from the top, although it's not my favorite because when you get to the top there is not really much to do outside of the station. You kind of stay within, the view is great. And I like to suggest that one for those who have very limited time and they want to combine the cable car with Comuna 13. Because basically that cable car, you take it from the same metro station where you have to get off in order to go to the area where the graffitis are. So from the same metro station, you go either to the cable car line J or you go to the graffiti area. So that's why I like to suggest that one, because if you have very, very short time, you can combine those activities, all right? Now, the next one is line H, is also my second favorite, because that one combines urban transformation, street art, and let's say panoramic views as well. That one is in the east of the city, and it's very interesting because in order to reach that one, you need to take the tramway first. So in San Antonio Metro Station, you take the tram, The tram will take you all the way up through a middle-class neighborhood called Buenos Aires that also has a lot of street art and is, let's say, it feels more authentic, and you will see way less tourists than in others. When you reach the end of the tramway, the name of the station is Oriente. There you switch to the cable car. You don't have to pay anything extra. All those things, all those services are integrated. And then you take the cable car all the way to the end, and the name of the station is Villa Sierra. That cable car is rather new, so the barrio is not very developed yet, as in the first cable car I mentioned, where you see the cable car has been operating for 15 years already, so you see the neighborhood has already bootstrapped its economy. This cable car, on the other hand, is rather new, so it's quite raw still, but very interesting if that's what you are looking for, if you want to see how society is developed. Okay, the view is also amazing. When you get to that metro station, two things. On the top of the metro station there is like an open air gym that has some sort of terrace, and also at on the bottom part of the station there is another balcony that's kind of hidden, so it is a good place to chill, maybe to take some pictures. Okay, now the fifth option is the line M, and that one we can describe it as a complete off-beaten track activity. What's the story with that one? The name of the last stop in that line is called Trece de Noviembre, 13th of November. Please do not confuse with Comuna 13. Those are in opposite side of the city. Comuna 13 is in the west, while Trece de Noviembre, 13th of November, is in the east. What is cool about it? That cable car gets you closer to the entry point to something called Jardín Circunvalar, which is like a linear park that is on the mountains of Medellin, on the very high point on the slopes, and there is also like a trekking path to a peak on the mountain, a peak on a mountain called Pan de Azúcar, like the sugar loaf or something like that. Now pay attention, if you want to go there, these are the instructions. Again, you start by taking the tramway at the metro station San Antonio. This time you don't go to the end, but you go to a metro station until a metro station called Miraflores. In Miraflores tram station, you have to get off the tram, get out that tram stop, and enter into the cable car stop called Miraflores. So you need to use your card again. Then you're gonna take the cable car for one stop only. Actually, I don't remember. Well, just go to the end of that cable car. When you get off in Trece de Noviembre, 13th of November station, when you get out of the station, you're gonna see right in front of you one of the craziest slopes, the most steep slope you've ever seen. Is like incredible. You walk that very steep slope until you will see suddenly it becomes flat, okay? That area is called El Plan. Once you're in El Plan, you turn right, and there you're gonna see the beginning of the Jardín Circunvalar. It's like the linear park that is on the slope of the mountain. It gives you absolutely amazing views of the city, and it's how do you say, the path is marked. So while you walk, it tells you where would you end up if you go straight, or there are the signs to go left or up in this case in order to reach the Pan de Azúcar. All right, those are the 5 cable cars. As a summary, the first one I talked about is line K, Santo Domingo. Think of it as a barrio, an authentic barrio experience. Second one, if you want nature, line L, Arví Park. It's the one that will take you to a natural park. Third, if you want to combine the cable car with the Comuna 13 activity, then it will be La Aurora for panoramic views. 4, line H, that's the one that combines the tram, the street art, and also like panoramic views. And the 5th one is the completely off beaten track, which is line M. All right. Well, we are still expecting for line P to be how do you say, launched or inaugurated. And for the time being, those are the 5 that we have. I hope this has been useful, and don't leave Medellin without going to one of the cable cars. Okay. Bye.